In this unit, we will learn about one of the successful educational actions called family education. We often hear that student success depends on the educational level of their families, but there is no correlation between these two variables, and even less are they decisive in the future of their children. Schools committed to inclusive education work hard to ensure that students who have the most difficulties have equal opportunities to access university. Decades of research of the international scientific community have demonstrated that what determines children's learning, more than the academic level of their parents, are the activities and training in which their parents and relatives are involved in. In this video, we will learn more about this topic. First of all, focusing on what is family education. Then, we will explore the types of activities that can be developed in family education. And finally, highlighting the benefits of family education for both children and adults. So let's start with what is family education. Family education is a successful educational action that achieves good results by making training accessible and offering such training to families and to the entire community. The success of family education is due to the fact that those participating in it decide what to learn and when to do it. Besides, they can determine what courses could be offered and how they would be carried out, based on equal dialogue between all community members. This action differs from other training sessions, as they are far from being lectures in which families are told what to do with their children to educate them. It also differs from training in which a person gives a talk based on his or her own opinions or experiences without considering the demands or needs of the participants. For this successful educational action, it is important to focus on improving family skills and critical knowledge that are essential for life. This means that families have the opportunity to help their children with their tasks, reading together, and supporting them in academic issues. One of the most common motivations for becoming involved in family education is the desire of families to help their children with homework and supporting their learning. Because of all these reasons, different types of activities are developed in family education. Some examples of this are the following. The first example is Dialogic literary gatherings, which are also presented in another unit, where dialogue and learning take place around the universal literature, best works of humanity. In these gatherings, families can read and share masterpieces of authors like James Joyce or Miguel de Cervantes, and classic literature essentials such as Homer's Odyssey. The second example is information and communication technologies. In these courses or workshops, families can learn more about software like Excel or Word and the use of social networks. The best part is that they can also do it with the help of their children. The third example is about language learning, in which immigrant families can opt to learn the language of the country in which they live. In other cases, families choose training in foreign languages of their interest, such as English or French. The fourth example is literacy classes. This is an essential in centers with family members who do not know how to read or write, or the language of communication of the place where they live. Then, literacy training is an absolute priority. The last example is about mathematics. Some families find it challenging to help their children with the mathematics homework. Due to this, training in mathematics is given priority in family education. According to the international scientific research with social impact, some of the characteristics that make family education effective are the following. Involving families in the decision-making with regards to relevant aspects of the training in which they will participate, such as content, schedule, organization, etc. To have high expectations toward the participants in the educational programs and towards their abilities. Promoting instrumental learning, reading, writing, mathematics, oral expression. Also, it is fundamental that the training they receive is based on scientific evidences. And developing strategies in the family education to overcome linguistic or cultural barriers. And just to mention another one is to take care that there is representation of vulnerable groups among the participants in the training and promoting diversity in the programs. Finally, we can say that family education directly benefits the adults participating in it and their children as well as the community by becoming an activity that overcomes educational and social inequalities. There are multiple benefits of family education. For the adults who take part of this successful educational action, the learning outcomes are easily transferable to everyday life situations and open up new job opportunities. For the children, they become people whom they can ask questions, solve their doubts, or share the learning process. Family education has benefits for family members, students, schools, and the neighborhood. Finally, in the unit, you will find other examples and ideas that will help you implement the action and some more practical guidelines for family education. This successful educational action involves everyone who wants to make a difference in the lives of children. Be part of it.